Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this, I guess. So we are going to keep working on the kind of worksheets that we did last week, where we are taking a sentence in Latin and we're identifying its parts, we're identifying its cases, and we're going to make it English. We were numbering our words last time based on their cases. I'm going to review again what that looks like. And we only have 4 of these, so I want you guys to pay attention carefully to what I'm doing, and you're going to watch this through. And if you want to take notes today, that's great. If you want to write these sentences down and do it with me, that's great. And then your next class assignment is going to be to do that worksheet on your own and then rewatch this video so that you can correct it. So if you're seeing it for the first time, first time, here we go. If this is your time correcting it, just pay attention carefully and make the changes on your document that you need to before you turn it in. Okay, so let's go to our worksheet. All right, here we go. So our directions are going to be, again, we're going to read them out loud, okay? Above the nominatives, I want you to write N1, and the N being for nominative, the 1 being for the, sorry about that, the 1 being the place in the English sentence where we want to translate it. So, and then our nominative is going to be the subject of the sentence, okay? Now, if, however, the subject is in the verb, meaning if we don't have a nominative, but we still have a subject, we are going to write a 1 above the ending of the verb. So above accusatives, we are going to write A3, and the A standing for accusative, 3 standing for the place where we're going to put it in the English sentence. The verbs, we're going to write a V for verb and 2 for the place where it goes in the English sentence. And then prepositional phrases, we're going to write P for prepositional phrase, and then a 5. Again, we don't have a 4 here yet because when we use this system, as we start to learn more of Latin, you're going to find out that 4 is the place for the indirect object or the dative, which we're not going to learn for a while. So far we just have a 1 for nominative, a 2 for a verb, a 3 for a direct object or the accusative, and then a 5 for a prepositional phrase. And then once we've numbered it all, we are going to translate it from Latin to English. Some of you in the last assignment actually didn't do that portion, so I need you to complete all of these directions because we're learning how to do this. We are learning the system, okay? This is like learning how to execute a math step, okay? A process like PEMDAS, okay? We're learning a process. But last week we did several of these and we did it in the singulars. Well, we still have to do plurals. So this time our worksheet is adding in plurals, okay? So if we look over here real closely at our declension charts, okay, we had and for our singulars, but now we're adding I if it's plural and nominative, and os if it's accusative plural. And then is is our ablative plural in both declensions, okay? So this is feminine, I, os, and is. And then this is masculine. We did have us and air, and we had and o. Okay, so this is what we had already. Now we're adding our plurals, okay? So if it's nominative plural masculine, it's going to be a long I. If it's masculine accusative plural, it's going to be os. And then again, ablative plural is always is for the first and second declension, okay? So what I've done is written those out so that at least when we're doing our worksheet, we have them kind of close up here. So look, I wrote that nominatives are going to be I and E for feminine and masculine. I wrote that accusatives are going to be os and os, and then ablatives is always is. So we have this little cheat sheet to look at, and when you do this worksheet, you're going to have that too. But folks, not necessarily everything in here is going to be plural. We do still have some singulars, okay? So just because I'm saying that we're adding plurals doesn't mean that everything is plural. So let's go ahead and start on our first sentence. So the other thing I wanted to address is I had a lot of people translate the sentence beneath the sentence over here because I want the translation over here. Okay, so I wrote translate here and I wrote a big arrow. This is where your English translation goes. Okay, and this is not. Okay, so but this is where our numbers are going to go. All right, so translate here. We're going to number over here on the left. Okay, so equi. Look, we're going to find, so our ending is a long I. So what I'm going to do is go up here. If you don't know your plurals already, honestly, it will behoove you, or it will benefit you to, before you do this worksheet, to actually spend some time kind of studying these endings. You can also study them on a Quizlet. Let me take a drink of my coffee. Hang on. Okay, so I see a long I up here. So equi is going to be N1, nominative, and 1. All right, so check it out. In is a preposition. Prepositions are little words that tell us where. So we already know that in agros is going to be a prepositional phrase because it has a preposition. And then current is going to be our verb. So we have a V2. So we have a 1, 2, and a 5. Is it okay that we don't have a 3? Yes, it is not necessarily true that every sentence will have a direct object. Okay, so this sentence does not have a direct object, and that is totally okay. So let's actually do, once we've numbered this, let's just jump right to the translation. So my N1 was equi. So equi are horses. Equus means horse, so equi are horses. And then current, if you remember your verb, hopefully you do kuro curere, it means to run. Okay, for anybody who speaks Spanish or knows any Spanish, correr is the Spanish word to run, and it comes right from this. So horses are running, or if you just wanted to say run, that's okay. And then in agros is where they're running. Okay, that's my next thing that I want here. So in agros is going to be into, because in plus the accusative makes in mean into, and agros is accusative. Now, it's not accusative because it's a direct object here, though. It's accusative because it's the object of the preposition in the prepositional phrase. So the horses are running into the fields. Ager means field, so agros is just plural. So if we wanted to say the horses, that's fine too. That's up to you, the translator. You don't have to have the over here either. Okay, but it's probably a good thing to have. It just makes an English sentence make a little bit more sense. But you don't have to have it, okay? So check it out. We over here, we did our N1, the horses, and then next came our verbs. So this was our V2. And then our prepositional phrase came last. So this goes in numerical order, and that's what we're looking to do. Next sentence, I can still leave it here so we can still see our cheat sheet up at the top left, okay? So, audimus. All right, I want everybody to see that, yes, this ends in US, and US, if you remember your declensions, US is your nominative singular in the masculine. However, this is not a noun, okay? Audio, audire, means to hear, and this verb doesn't end in us, it ends in moose. This word ends in moose. And us, I get it, is part of moose, but you have to be really careful. Don't just see us here and think that that's our subject, because it ain't. Well, kind of. Anyway, the point is that audimus is our verb. Okay. So when I said kind of that it's not our subject, well, let's just keep going. Okay. So we know audimus is our verb. All right. In, it's a preposition again. Okay. So we know that in casa is a prepositional phrase. So we're going to do it PP 5. And then lastly, we have sonos. All right, so our word ends in os. So if you don't know it off the top of your head, you should though. Oh man, asos ace. Remember those 6? Those are our 6 accusatives. So sonos is going to be our A3 accusative, and it goes third. Now let's go back to this because we don't have a 1. Well, every sentence needs a 1. Every sentence needs a subject, but we don't have a nominative here. So what do? Well, our subject's in the verb. The subject's in the verb. Hi ho the dairy-o, the subject's in the verb. Remember, if we don't have a nominative that's separate in our subject, I'm sorry, in our sentence, if we don't have a nominative in our sentence, then our subject must be in our verb, okay? All right. So over here, we're going to translate our one first. Well, when a word ends in moose, guys, OST, moose, tis, ent, remember that if a word ends in moose, the subject is we. Okay, so we, what? We hear, because audio, audire is our verb, and it means to hear. What do we hear? Well, we hear A3. We hear sounds. And then we want our last, our prepositional phrase, in the house. We hear sounds in the house. You could say we are hearing the sounds in the house, or you can add an article if you want, but we hear sounds in the house is perfectly fine. Okay, and that was, if we came over here, we had our 1, we had our V2, sounds is A3, and then here's our PP5. So we just boop, put it right in order. Okay, the reason we're numbering things is because over here this looks all kinds of jumbled and crazy. Over here in English is where we put it into our normal English order. Okay, all right. 2 sentences left. We're gonna go pretty quick. Prope. Prope is a preposition. It's a word that means near, and words that tell us location are prepositions. So prope plus the word that follows it is our prepositional phrase. So prope aquam. Now, colony, it ends in a long I. Long I is nominative. So we're going to say N1. And last, sedent, OST, moostis, ent. This is our verb. Good, we needed a verb. Look, we don't have an A3 here. Is that okay? Yes, it is. Just because aquam is accusative does not mean we're going to label it A3, because aquam is already in the prepositional phrase. So we can't label it A3. It's already taken up in the prepositional phrase, you guys. So we do not have a direct object here, and that is totally okay. So we're going to order it over here. We're going to put our N1, then we're going to put our V2, then we're going to put our prepositional phrase. Okay, so our N1 is colony. Colony are farmers. Do we want to say the farmers? Sure, you can. I don't care. It's up to you. That's how you want your sentence to sound. You have that option. So farmers, sedent is our V2. So sedeo, sedere means to sit. So are sitting. Farmers are sitting. And then where are they sitting? Prope aquam. Prope means near. We've already learned this preposition. And aqua means water. It's just like agua in Spanish, or aquatic animals. So farmers are sitting near water. Okay, that works. Or you could say the farmers are sitting near the water. That's fine too. It's up to you. You can add the in there if you want. Cool. Last one. We're cranking. All right, lupos. What ending is os? I want everybody to say am os ace. Say it. Am os ace. That is accusative. So we're going to mark it as A3. Now, we can mark it as accusative here because it isn't in a prepositional phrase. There isn't a preposition before it, so we can mark it accusative. That's why we can mark this A3. Oh, look, speaking of a preposition, we have in again. We know in is a preposition, so we know in Silvies must be a prepositional phrase. Videtis is our verb. Okay, but look, what are we missing? We're missing a 1. So, because we don't have a nominative in the sentence, I'm going to sing again. The subject's in the verb, the subject's in the verb. Hi ho the dairy-o, the subject's in the verb. So, we're going to mark that as a 1. Okay? So when our subject's in our verb, it's just going to be our 1 is y'all, because tis is our you plural ending. And remember, we can either say you plural if you want to do that, but I just like to say y'all because it's easy. Now I want my V2. Okay, so next goes y'all see. Okay, y'all see. Next, we want our 8-3 because we want to know what y'all see. Y'all see lupus. Well, a lupus is a wolf, so we make it plural because this is plural here. So y'all see wolves. And then last but not least goes our prepositional phrase. So in the woods. Y'all see wolves in the woods, or you plural see wolves in the woods. And that's it. Those are our 4. That seemed to go pretty quick. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. But so far, you guys have been doing a really good job at these. So do your best and just be diligent to follow all the directions. Okay, it's really important that you are doing the whole process that I'm asking. Okay, that's it for now. Walete omnes.